Hey, welcome everybody. April Fools, we're back in the school. Just for today, though, I believe we are closing as a state here in the next 24 hours. Welcome. Hopefully everybody's staying safe. Get your social distancing going on. That's exactly what we want to see. We're going to start with our warm-up. All right, so shake your hands. With me is Mr. Lee here, and we're going to get it done. So the mission for today, a couple simple things. One, we're going to go a little gentler today. We do have a lot of Tabatas to do, but again, go at your pace. Don't worry about trying to go as hard as humanly possible. All right, circle the other way. And a shout out, I heard from Eric Ringer today. If you know who he is, he's one of our old school students from long ago, one of Marlon students. Big hug. And we chatted for a bit. So, hey, if you're feeling a little bit claustrophobic, feel free to reach out and say hi. That would be great. All right, take you back. And hips. So today we're going to focus on a number of different things. Kind of looking at fundamentals, and we're going to get a little bit of throws in. Going to do just a few kicks, and then we're going to do some weapon work, ending up with some strikes and blocks. So it should be a fun little class. Ease. All right, kneecaps. Boom, let's do an ankle. Let's do another ankle. Stretch your toes. Side of your foot. Other foot. That's the floor creaking, not me. I'll creak in a minute. All right, feet apart. Let's stretch on down straight. And stretch up. And let's stretch to one foot. Stretch the other foot. And to both. Yeah, stretch straight ahead again. Let's turn. Stretch. And turn. Stretch. Very nice, lean over. And over the other way. Very good, let's take a seat. But one leg on top of the other leg. Stretch it forward. And stretch 20. And stretch the other leg. Switch legs. Make sure you're doing something creative if you can during your downtime, whether that's draw or calligraphy or paint or write or puzzling or coloring or something creative. Okay? Rearranging, your leaves in your yard, whatever it is, and do something creative. Okay? Now keep your mind from going a little bit stir crazy. Good, put your feet together. And bounce it. And stretch forward. Pull your feet in a little bit. And bounce it. So as we mentioned earlier in the week, we're going to do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. We will do them live. We'll probably do a video conference for Q&A for any of the adult students, and then also for our youth students as a separate one, right? One in, one out. Once again, that's the floor. Good. Leg on top, no bounce. And stretch forward again. Switch feet. Stretch it. Weird squeaky noises, like on top. Balance it. And stretch forward. Very good. Relax. Stretch your fingers. Look at your palm. Grab behind it. Stretch. Look at your palm. Stretch. Very nice. We're going to stretch down. So compression. Put it on your leg. Put it in the air. Doesn't matter. Good. Switch the sides. Compression. Very nice. Okay. So our Tabatas today, we got 5 that we're going to do. Again, each for a minute and then 20 seconds rest, and then a minute and 20 seconds rest. A bunch of them are Mr. Hung will be doing one, I'll be doing a different one, so you have an option on your Tabatas. It's something everybody wants. The first 2, we don't have any options. We're just going to do it. Okay. So the first one is a leg ab core work. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to start on your back. I tend to put my hands underneath me. Okay. I'm going to get legs in, pull them in, up, down, out. Okay. So again, in, up, down, out. Okay. Now, we really can't call these Tabatas because you're not supposed to be in a Tabata. You are supposed to go as fast as humanly possible. For these, we want you to do them a little slower, just so you don't wear yourself out. And again, then get a good workout. Awesome. Okay. Next one. Okay, we're going to do a 4-punch combo. Okay, so the next one is front punch, reverse punch, hook. Okay, so 4 punches, and we're going to switch feet. Be 1, 2, 4. Okay, so 4 punches. So front punch, reverse punch, hook. If you prefer jab, cross, hook. And we're doing lead hand first. Next, you got your choice. Okay, so Hung's going to do some slow motion mountain climbers. Okay, so I'll just let him show those. So we're just kind of doing slow motion knee up mountain climbers. I'm going to be doing more ski abs. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands on the ground and I'm going to start all the legs back, and then I'm going to put my feet by my hands, back, hands, back, hands. Okay, those are ski abs. A little bit more core on those, a little less core over there. Not a big deal. Okay. Next one, and I said we're doing 5, so this is number 4. Hung's going to do what we call break dancing, so it's a bear crawl position. He's just going to take his leg, put it underneath, lift an arm. Okay, nice core and arm, shoulder work. Okay, I'm going to be doing high-low planks. So what that looks like is I'm in a plank, low plank, and then I'm in a high plank, and on. Okay, high-low planks. We're going to do them again a little slower. Normally I power through those things. We don't want to do that. Okay. So Mr. Hung's going to go to wall sitting. Okay, so he's going to find a structural wall in your house. He's going to sit on it at a 90-degree angle on his knees and just kind of hang out there for a minute. Very low dynamic, very hard exercise. Okay, I'm just going to be doing calf raises. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be doing calf up and down and calf raises. So that's our 5. We're going to do each one of them twice. So get your space ready and your water nearby. We're going to blaze into these things. Okay? I'm just going to start a timer. All right, so first drill, starting on our body. on the ground. We're gonna do in and out legs, okay? Let's go. Again, not speeding through them, taking your time. Get legs straight each time. As you get tired, you can go a little slower. You don't have to power through. We've got 20 seconds. Let's go. You get super tired, you put them on the ground in between. Whatever you need to do. Good. 20 seconds off. Go ahead and stand up. We're going to do a punch set. Remember, front reverse hook. Again, nice and slow. Not you're punching air, so never punch fast when you're punching air. Only when you're punching things or people. 5 seconds. Go. There's 20 seconds left to go. All right, I'm going to ski abs. He's doing slow motion mountain climbers. We'll start off angle to begin with, then I'll start square, and then we'll change it up as we see. Get 10 seconds into it. 5 seconds. You can do these super slow. You can walk them. The less dynamic version. You can jump. It's 10 seconds to go. Good. Next, high-low planks for me. I'm just going to do some break dancing. Okay. 5 seconds. We're halfway done. Good job. All right, hunks while sitting. I'm gonna do calf raises. Nice and slow and easy. Enjoy as we go. Halfway done. Good. 20 seconds off. We're going to repeat. You can repeat the same exercise you started with, as we will, or you can do the alternate exercise. Okay, we'll get to those. We're going to do in and out legs next. We're just going to keep the ground. Here we go. Nothing fast. Just going nice and slow. Enjoying those hip flexors in their exercise. Halfway done. If you need to take a break, put your legs on the ground. You can do that. Good job. Now we're getting into some punches. Stand up if you can. We're going to get that front reverse hook hook. Okay? Estimation front reverse hook hook. Get ready to go in 5 seconds. Only 15 seconds left. Good. I'm doing ski abs. He's doing slow motion mountain climbers. Seconds. Remember, you can always walk it. Break. Seconds left. Spot seconds. Good job. That was tough. This one's got breakdancing. Doing high-low planks. 10 seconds. Good job. Last set. He's doing wall sitting. I'm doing calf raises in 10 seconds. Here we go. Halfway done. Excellent. Get a drink of water. Come on back. Got a minute. Relax. Turn off our Tabatas timer. Grab a glass of water. For an easy set, that's tough. All right, so what we're focused on today is how fundamental turns and body movements really work in self-defense, okay, or on the street. Okay? So we're going to go just the most basic thing. Okay? So a fighting stance. So the reason why a fighting stance kind of works is I'm standing neutral, I have no balance front to back. Okay? So an easy push, I lose my balance. Okay? In a fighting stance, that balance is now yours, front to back. You own that balance. So the bad guys in front of you, that balance very easy to control. Okay? So second part of fighting stance is all the really important things run down the middle of my body. Okay? So my heart, my neck, my eyes, my groin, all in the middle. So if I turn that out, it's harder to get to those things. You have to come around the corner to get there. Okay? So that's kind of fighting stance. Last thing, hands. So you see all kinds of weird hand positions. For us, this hand's really guarding the head. It's what it's for. It's to guard and attack. Okay? This hand is guarding the groin because that's a completely legitimate shot in the real world. And the back of the head, side of the head, really kind of controlling the back part of your body. Okay? So that's why the hands are the way they are, or where they are. So closing up your fingers. The reason why we close up our fingers is because fingers that are out or in grab mode are very easy to break. A solo finger, easy to break. All your fingers, much harder to break, okay? And you can control. The other thing is we tuck our thumbs in because we don't want those things jammed when somebody comes in, and we don't want our thumb to get caught in stuff. Okay? So we tend to have clean hands. Okay? Now the I don't want trouble stance is this. My fingers are open a little bit. They close up really quickly. My thumbs are out, mostly because this doesn't look like I want trouble. It looks like I'm not about to hit you, and I know martial arts. Okay, so fighting stance kind of very essential for us. The last part is our knees are always bent. Nice, good bent knees, because attacking somebody's leg completely legit in self-defense. So if your legs are slightly bent, they have a tendency to fail in or out and not just hyperextend. Okay? So we always want to keep our knees slightly bent. Okay? And that's basic fighting stance. Okay? Now I've seen modifications where you turn your base foot out a little bit. This opens up your hip, allows you to do faster kicks off the rear leg. But turned out 90, it really stops people from getting to your middle part of your body without having to come around the corner. Okay? So that's fighting stance, basic 101. Okay? Next one, turn. Let's talk about switch. So when we switch, we're switching feet. I'll show it more the combative style and less the martial arts style. I'm switching feet so that I may want to throw something off the other leg. That's really why you're switching. Okay? Is you're here, you step back into a fighting stance, you may want to switch it up so that you can do something else. Okay? It's also a nice nervous tick. If you're in a fight, it's just switching back and forth. Now notice I'm not jump switching, I'm just sliding my feet back and forth. Okay? We keep constant contact with the ground because we don't want to lose our balance if somebody pushes or attacks in the middle of us moving. So keep our feet on the ground the whole time. So that's switch. Okay? Now let's talk about basic turn, okay? Short turn. Okay? So this is just a pivot on your heels and move the other way. Okay? Now I can step and look the other way. We got those two, but this is something's behind me. I'm just turning my feet and my body the other way, as opposed to just looking. Okay? So I want to turn my whole body that way and end up facing that direction. Okay? So that is short turn. Okay? Very good for kind of turning around. Long turn. Long turns for I know I want to get closer to that guy. And now I'm much closer to it. Okay? With all the social distancing, long term probably not your friend. Okay? Because I started looking this way and I noticed the threat is actually at a distance behind me. I want to close that up. Okay? Long term, very efficient, as opposed to turning around and walking. That takes a lot longer than just doing a long turn. Okay? So again, long turn is I'm sliding my front foot back and facing the person behind me. Okay? So that's a long turn. Okay? Next one, any of the quarter turns. So the threat's no longer here. I point at you. The threat's no longer here. I'm just going to turn my foot and end up facing you. Now I can just turn and then step around, and that's really a pivot version of the quarter turn. Okay? Perfectly legit to do that. Okay? 3/4 turn, what like the most difficult turn that everybody seems to have trouble with. 3/4 turns when I step this way. Okay? Now, turns out front leg quarter turn gets you there too. Okay? Same kind of position. So 3/4 turn, I say in self-defense, probably not likely. Probably not likely. Okay? And that's 3/4 turn. Okay? What did I miss? Oh, body movement. So anytime I'm doing inside body movement, I'm stepping closer and into somebody blocking usually. Okay? Outside body movement, I need to make time, so I'm stepping out. Okay? Yes? Cross step and turns specific to self-defense. I'm going to step across and usually have some part of their limb at the same time. All right? If you have questions about that, just send us a text or comment in the Facebook page. Okay? I'm going to let Mr. Hung teach hook kick and back hook and spinning back. Okay? Be back now.
For back hook, we start in fighting stance, okay? We're going to do this off of the back leg. You can think of a back hook as a back side kick, but you kick off target, so you come back with a back hook. So back hook is going to look like this. Okay? It's not going to be a circular technique, it's actually a linear technique. So my leg comes out straight, but it's not coming on target, comes off target, and then I hook over. Okay? The hook happens at the very end after your leg is at full extension. So for practicing, just start doing a back side kick off target. The target is right in front of you, so just start your back side kick off target, wait until your full extension, then hook over. That's how you practice, but not the kick itself. For the kick itself, you're going to chain it together. Okay? The less intermediary stuff you take, the better. So I'm in fine stance. Okay, now we're going to do the full kick now. Okay, so it comes straight up, hook over. You hook when your leg is at full extension, okay? All right, so that's back hook. Let's try 5 per side. I'm going to do the full version, the full kick version, but if you need to break it down to steps to practice, feel free to do so. I'll go a little bit slow for you, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in case you forgot about backside kick, I do want to remind you that for backside kick, if you aim to kick forward, you got to take a cheek step. Okay, got to take a cheek step so that your backside kick can come out straight. But for back hook, even though you're kicking off target, your hook is still happening in front of you, so you still got to do that cheek step. Okay, you throw your backside kick outside, hook over. Okay. And just like with a regular hook, for back hook, you are using your whole leg to bring it back. So it is not coming here and then just doing this. That's not a hook. You gotta bring your whole leg back. Okay? So get that up, hook all the way back. Your knee, ideally, gotta go past the target for a successful hook. All right. Let's move on to spinning back hook. For spinning back hook, it's easiest if you start with a spinning back kick, not spinning back hook, spinning back kick. Okay, so spinning back kick looks like this. You're in fine stance, you're going to wind up, wind up, wind up until you can't turn anymore, and you pick up your leg and kick straight to the side. For spinning back hook, when you feel that your leg is about to get to the center, you do a hook. Okay, this one is going to be very difficult to do slow, so just trust me on this. You just hook your leg when you are about to pass the center. Okay, so again, you start in fine stance, turn until you can't anymore, pick up your leg, and then hook when you're at the center. Boom. Okay, that's spinning back hook. Just like with any hook, the movement is not just this. The hook itself is you taking your whole leg back. So it's going to have a lot of momentum, a lot of circular momentum. Okay? And remember, for backspin kick, not backspin hook, for backspin kick, you keep your leg straight. The same is true for spinning back hook. You start with your leg straight, but then when you are about to be at the center, you start your hook. So now I'm going to do it, the full kick. We'll do 5 per side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just like any spinning kick, you want to spin on the balls of your foot on your base leg, okay, not your heel. It's very difficult to keep your balance when you're trying to spin on your heels, okay? But easier to keep balance when you're on the balls of your feet. So spin on the balls of your foot, not on your heels, okay? And that's spinning back hook.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. So what we're going to work on next is doing turns with weapons. Okay? So Mr. Hunt is going to start with nunchucks. I'm going to start with stick. In this case, these weapons do grow on trees. These don't. They're a little harder. Okay? So kind of the key with working with a weapon on any moment is we just kind of assume there's an opponent in every possible direction. So not just in front of us, but also behind us, to the side and to the back side of us. Okay? So whether you choose to have your weapon in your front hand or your back hand in a fighting stance, basically when you make a turn, you want the weapon to flow through the turn. So, for example, if I'm here, I don't want to turn and then use the weapon. And what I want to do is turn with the weapon. Okay? Pretty basic idea. Now with nunchucks, they have their own speed. In other words, whatever speed they're going, you're going to have to match the inertia in your turn, which means the turns tend to be faster when you're working with a set of nunchucks versus a stick. Not that your turns can be slow with a stick, you go fast there too. Okay? Now we're going to try and get true social distancing, mostly because he has a weapon and I have a weapon. So let's do short turn first. Front hand short turn has no benefit for me. Okay? Rear hand short turn has a huge benefit, right? I can reach out and touch somebody behind me. Here, I'll show you on this one. Here, I'm going to turn. And now I've got huge range, mostly just because I turned my feet. Bam, so I went 180 degrees. Now when he does one, he can go off of that, or if he's spinning, okay, and he turns, he's going to keep his spin, or if he wants, he can do an attack off of that just by taking that through an arc. Okay, so just pulling the nunchuck through an arc. Okay? So with nunchucks, you have to match the inertia. And if he's using it in his front hand and he does a short turn, there's no tangible benefit. Okay? So yeah, he has to turn towards his core, and it's a big old turn. All right, let's talk about long turn. Okay? So long turn, once again, if it's in my front hand, I do a long turn. Wow, I can get all kinds of range differentials there. So if I'm facing here, I get all kinds of range. Okay? If it's in my back hand, I do a long turn. It just kind of stays in my back hand. Okay? So I can be defensive in that situation, or I could be setting up blocks off of that long turn. So I can be stepping into a block to then strike off of that, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay? When he's working long turn, same thing. It's in his front hand. He's got the ability to reach out and touch someone. If it's in his back hand, not so much. Okay? So when he does a short turn, long turn off of this, he can get a strike off of it, but that's pretty much it. Okay? So it's very hard to keep a spin also in a front-handed long turn. That's a lot to say. Okay? In the front hand here, as he does the long turn, yeah, it's hard to keep the spins when you're making a long turn with a set of nunchucks. Okay? So let's go to quarter turns. My favorite thing is in stick. Okay? So I do a front leg quarter turn. That's awesome. Okay? If it's my front hand and I do a rear leg quarter turn, and that was both a front leg reverse quarter turn and a rear leg reverse quarter turn. If it's in my front hand and I do a front leg quarter turn here, again, get all kinds of power off of that front hand. Okay? So I can do backhanded or I can do forehanded. Okay, all right. If we're in tennis motif. Okay? So again, quarter turns work really well. Now I like rear leg quarter turns for any time it's in my backhand. Okay, so I like to step in here, get my quarter turn. Okay. Or if I'm doing a reverse quarter turn, I'm going to step here. Okay. So I'm going to step out and get my strike again, going backwards or forwards in standard terminology for tennis, right? And this Hung's going to demonstrate quarter turns, which again have the same potential, right? So if he does a front leg quarter turn with it in his front hand, he gets a huge strike off of that one. And so it's just a huge strike. Okay? If he does a rear grip start and he's going to do a reverse quarter turn off his rear hand, okay, he gets a strike off of that as well. And then the nunchucks exit stage, right? And so one more time, he's going to do a rear leg quarter turn and get a strike off of that. Just too much power in it. That's all there is to it. Good. And so he did the hard one. You can do the much easier one, which is stepping, it turns out the other direction, and stepping into a standard rear leg quarter turn. He's thinking. Nope, that's reverse. This is standard. Bam, yeah, I like all kinds of power on that one. Okay? Sometimes the brain's got to process. So again, quarter turns make a huge difference. Now, we talked about it just a few minutes ago, doing a 3/4 turn, okay? A 3/4 turn. Now, on a 3/4 turn, if I got it in my back hand, watch what happens when I do a 3/4 turn. It comes to my front hand, and I'm hitting the guy that's way over there. That is potential threat, right? So if I start here centered and I do a 3/4 turn, I can get almost 6 feet that way, and without doing anything other than just shuffling my feet. Again, that 3/4 turn here. Just like that. Okay? So big deal. I think the timing on a 3/4 turn is going to mess with nunchucks, okay? Because nunchucks tend to be much faster when it comes to turning. All right, so here he is. He's going to do a 3/4 turn. He's got to hold it until the end of his turn, didn't he? Okay, so do that one more time. Big old 3/4 turn. Okay, and you notice he's going from front hand to a rear hand position on that, mostly because I think he likes front hand. Okay? So when you're working your turns, the body movements, make sure body movements we just covered just quickly, obviously stepping in and stepping in this way, have a difference in how I'm going to strike. So here, it's with the weapon. Here, it's kind of against the weapon, so I have to strike the other way. This is what we call strong side, and this is what we call weak side here. I'm stepping forward with the leg that isn't in control of the weapon. Okay? So that's inside body movement. Outside body movement, when I want to make some space, this is my weak side, boom, because I'm stepping away. In this case, it's my strong side. Okay? So again, your body movements, big deal when you're making steps or driving. Okay? Yes, on nunchucks. His inside body movement, boom, he's going to strike off of that. Very nice. Okay? Outside. Notice the offside always is just kind of a little weird with set up there. So that's the strong side. That's the weak side. You have to like come around the corner to get that one. On outside body movement. Let's see how it works for him. Boom. Got a weird when he steps back that side, weak side, and strong side. So kind of see the difference when you're working it. Okay. So again, anytime I'm stepping forward with the leg or I'm stepping back with the other leg. Okay. So that's kind of the mission. Those both give you strong side techniques. All right. Talk briefly about 3/4 turn before. 3/4 turns when I want to potentially block and hit. Kind of 3/4 circle, kind of left the screen there. So again, I may be stepping in here, block, step across, boom, and hit where I went. Maybe I'm trying to exit out of more than one person attacking me at a time. So I'm going to go through, boom, okay, got my guy's cage, block here, stepping around, boom, and hit it. Okay. That's really cross step and turn. I tend to never turn my back on an opponent, and I have a different approach when I'm dealing with multiple people. So again, 3/4 turn, cross step and turn is not something I would tend to do in a combative situation. Okay, nunchucks, let's see. Blocks, boom, okay, comes off. Again, I don't really think of nunchucks as being a combative weapon just because they got a big string in them. So unless you're dealing with a lot of shield walls and things like that in your life, that nunchuck's not going to have as much advantage because it's really good for going over shields. Not as good for, it can hurt you a lot more than anybody else, as we demonstrated earlier. So there you go. There's fundamentals and weapons. So let's talk a little bit about blocks with weapons. The hardest block for a stick is generally just below the hip because you got to either make this choice or this choice to get the block. Okay, and this is a full 180, right? So that's a pop block. I can get there pretty quick, but if they're coming with any real force, this is going to be a weak block. It's going to basically knock it back in. Okay, so as opposed to what we consider a parry out, that takes a lot of time. You got to kind of pull your arm up to get that sweet spot. Okay? Everything else is easy, right? So the stick generally is above my head in a block, okay? And I'm knuckle out when I'm blocking, okay? So I'm not bending my wrist. I'm knuckle out, okay? So my wrist is rigid, okay? Knuckle out, knuckle out, knuckle out, knuckle out. Working your box, your square, whatever you want to call it. Okay? So just outside my shoulder, just outside my shoulder, just outside my leg, and just above my head, okay? Not a mile and a half above my head, and obviously not a mile and a half outside, okay? We're really trying to keep it tight so that you can then maneuver. Okay? And kind of the quintessential, I want to grab your stick for a second. Approach to blocking for us is closing distance. So we like to close distance. So if he's attacking, right, and I'm stepping in, okay, I'm going to close that distance, right? So I can take, or better yet, I can hit, or I can mitigate by just, stepping out. Now I got 2 sticks, bonus. Now I'm going to go all crazy, Black Widow on you. Very important, we tend to step in. So when you're stepping in, I want to make sure I'm stepping with a block, okay? And, I'll go right to right versus left to right. In this case, it's, pop block, and again, take that weapon away, and work over. You didn't have to let go, I'm take it away. Okay? So that's kind of the mission is as you step, as you move, you're just getting used to your block, working your block, okay? Try not to ever put 2 hands gripping on the weapon unless you're in danger or you're doing a joint lock. Danger of losing the weapon. So in this case, I always block open palm. So when he's hitting towards my head, my fingers aren't going to get engaged. These are, so I'm going to put a little bit of slope on it so it tends to slope off my weapon, not towards my fingers. Okay? Because there's no guard on this as there would be on a sword or something like that, right? So there you go, fundamentals with weapons, okay? Questions? Hopefully that worked out for you, and blocks with weapons, okay? So what we're gonna work next is we're gonna do just one of our throws. This is, I believe, blue belt. And we're gonna do some scissor throws, okay? And then we're gonna show you how to work them at home with a couple of household objects. So that'll always be fun. So a scissor throw, I'll let Mr. Hung do it to me so you can kind of get the sense of it. So the easiest scissors, he's gonna start on the ground, bam. Now I can start either belly towards me or belly away from me, depends on how he starts. Doesn't matter, you can do scissors from either direction. Okay? The key on this one is the leg behind mine, okay, is right at my ankles. This leg is going across my knee, and he's gonna basically scissor his legs, and I'm gonna have to take a back fall. And that's the, oh, lose my balance, okay? So that's the back fall version. The other direction is a front fall. No surprise, okay? So this is easy to see. He's, again, traveling my feet, so I can't step out of his leg, okay? And he's basically just behind my knee. What he's gonna do is he's gonna scissor his legs past, my knees bend, and then I fall. I can guarantee you, if this was on anything other than this mat, that would hurt a lot, okay? Because I just drove my knees into the ground. Now you're asking, how do I practice that? Now, if your significant other is willing to get thrown, hey, go to town, you know, put some pads down, work your scissor throws, okay? If you're not, here's an easy drill, okay? And you can use almost anything. Oh, look, here's a stick. Okay? Now, Mr. Hung's gonna be my partner for this. He's just gonna hold that stick. No, just stand up, sir. Okay? And all I'm gonna do is just gonna come in, and I'm gonna work my scissor on that. Okay? So here, I'm just gonna come through and smash it. You work stick. You got two sticks? We do. He's gonna grab a second stick. Now I'm gonna work my scissor on two sticks. In this case, I'm gonna spread them out like their legs, okay? And now your significant other's just holding sticks for you, and you're just gonna work, trying to get deep, and work your scissors so you get your legs both up, and just hang it, okay? And really work on that scissor motion, okay? So I'm turning towards on that, the scissor motion, okay? Not this leg kind of goes by, okay? No, I want scissors to go through, okay? Get maximum muscle on it, okay? So let's assume your significant other is not there, okay? Is not there. Let's do something else, okay? So we're gonna grab a different household object, one of my favorites. A chair, okay? So here's my chair, okay? Now I'm by myself, maybe I'm working in a room. So I'm just gonna get deep, and I'm gonna work my scissor on my chair, okay? And it's easy to do, okay? So I'm working my scissor on my chair. I can put things on the chair, just make sure they can hit the ground, because they're gonna hit the ground. So I'm working my rear leg scissors, so I'm going backwards. Okay? I'm just gonna get deep, work my scissor the other way. Okay? So I can work my scissor in either direction on a chair. Now I do suggest you have a piece of carpet down so your chair does not scuff up your floor or damage anything, but you can work your scissors on a chair. Okay? In this case, basic like chair. Okay? Now, if it has stuff in the middle, it's going to be a little harder to do, but even your basic folding chair, you can do it on. Okay? So, scissors on a chair. Crazy, huh? The second scissor we have is a posted scissor. Okay? It doesn't mean it goes on a post, like a poster. It's a little more complex. So, in this case, kind of like you slide it into second base. Let me move the perfectly good chair out of the way. So, on this one, he's coming into me, and at the same time, he's putting his hands down. He's gonna hop and then drive a scissor in there. Okay, so one more time, sir. He's here, down, hop, and goes. Okay, just like that. Now I don't suggest you work it on a chair that way because you gotta have a pretty high chair. Okay? We do have high chairs to work it on, but again, they're steel, and you're not. Okay, and go in the other direction. Same thing. He's gonna turn face out. Okay, he's gonna put his legs down. Boom, and now he's going to set his legs and drive forward. Okay, the key is hands come down to post, okay? So you're kind of doing almost like a dog walk here to get your legs out to the side. And you can absolutely practice that position on your own, in your own time, okay? I'm gonna make Mr. Hung do a few posted scissors without anybody here, and we'll count for him. So hands go down, he hops, here's one, okay, nice. Cool dance move too. 2, 3, Okay? And now he's landing on a nice pad. Now he's going to go the other direction. Here we go. Ready, and 1. Okay? 2. I'll give you a hint. There is no tangible difference between the two. Okay? It's just which way you're facing. Okay? 3, and 2 more. 4. Nice job. Okay. All right, so that's scissors and posted scissors again. Generally, I think it's a blue belt technique. We're in the blue belt ranks, so it's a little bit more advanced than just your beginning stuff. Okay, so what we're going to end with is a couple strikes. So probably my favorite strike is an outside forearm strike. It's basically pushing straight up. It uses your deltoid muscle as the primary muscle for the drive. It's really for knocking people out of your way. So if you're in a hurry, you can work through a group easily by using outside forearm strikes. Okay, it is the strike in which I'm hitting basically across the top of his pectoralis majors. That's the mission. I'm not trying to hit him hard. I'm just trying to move him out of the way. Okay? It's not an elbow strike. I'm not hitting with the elbow. Okay? I'm hitting with my forearm. A weak set of bones, so I'm not like catching corners of anything. Okay? I'm just hitting the soft part of them to get them out of the way. Okay? And it works really well. I've gone through many crowds this way in an emergency situation. You're just trying to get through quickly. I'm not trying to knock people over. I'm just trying to get through or move through a crowd very easily or quickly. Okay? And again, how much power I put into it, really up to me. I tend to make contact and then push as necessary, okay? Because it's a very short muscle, so you get a lot of power out of it, a very short movement range. Okay? So that's kind of outside forearm strike. And the combative version of an outside forearm strike, so instead of working through a crowd, maybe I just don't want him to be here anymore. Okay? So that one's generally delivered high into the middle part of his throat. Okay? So it is just a pop up, okay? And it's a fast strike. And in this case, I'm using the edge of my forearm to do the work. And you notice I'm hitting something soft with something slightly hard. Okay? It's not the same as hitting it with an elbow. Okay? But this is the, I want you out of the fight quickly, and I'm doing an outside forearm. And maybe you're in way too close, so I'm trying to close you out of that fight situation. Okay, so that's outside forearm. It's delivered straight ahead, boom, out like you're reading your wristwatch, very dynamically. Okay? Yes, that's an outside forearm strike. Again, does not look like inside elbow, and it does not look like front elbow or any of the elbows you got. Okay? Front elbow is a little different. I'm going to hit just with my elbow, and that's the mission. So that's outside forearm strike. Next one, cupped hands. Okay? So in this case, you're going to make a cup with your hands, okay? And you're going to cup their ears. Boom. Now, don't do this on anybody. Okay? Unless you're doing self-defense, don't do this on anybody. Because even a little bit of cupping of the ear will rupture their eardrum or potentially rupture their eardrum and cause damage that will need surgery. So don't practice on people. Okay? You practice to air, boom. You can practice if you got your handy damn bag nearby. You can knock it out where you're working or here. Okay? It's not really designed to like cuff somebody on the side of the head. What it is designed for is making air basically pressurized on an eardrum. Okay? And if you miss in combative situation and you hit with just fingertips, that's okay. They're structural. Okay? But you can always throw another one. And you can do one hand, you can do two hands, you can throw boom, boom. Okay, you got all kinds of options when it comes to the cupped hands. Okay? Now, we tend to do them or practice them as a cupped hand set. Boom. So we hit, again, super cupped hands. Okay, but you can just, or you can just, bam. They're great self-defense technique. Okay, so we generally, in our list of self-defense things, it is our second go-to. Okay, second go-to. Okay, is going after the ears on somebody if they're attacking you. Okay, you can do it on the ground. You do it basically almost anywhere. Okay? And if you hit hard enough, you're going to rupture the eardrum, potentially cause vertigo to happen, and it's very hard to find up in those situations. In other words, they tend to fall down a lot after that. Okay? So that's cupped hands. Okay? Next one we got strike-wise, roundhouse knee. Okay? Roundhouse knee. You don't have to move it. It's perfectly fine. Okay? Roundhouse knee. So I like to grab somebody and throw knees in basically parallel or somewhat parallel to the ground, okay? With slight angle, but gonna hit, boom, roundhouse knee. Okay? Now, the bonus on this one is you're kind of going past the thing. Okay? So I'm gonna put two hands on here, and I'm gonna go past it. Okay? So I'm smashing through And again, you're hitting with the top of your femur, not with your kneecap directly. So top of femur, not kneecap, okay? So that big bone they always find with the dinosaurs, because it's huge, not your kneecap, okay? That's not a good thing to hit with, as it turns out. Okay? It's small and it tends to not enjoy being struck. So that's roundhouse knee, is driving through and around, okay? Now, doing them to air, we're just gonna do a set. So first thing we're gonna start with, outside forearm strike. Okay? Now you can move it out if you want. Okay? We're gonna go to air on these. We're gonna do front hand, outside forearm. Okay? It's gonna do 5 on the side. Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to the other side. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now we're gonna do cupped hands. We're just gonna do doubles, and we'll switch halfway through. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can be, I'm gonna escape the grab, and then cupped hands, okay? Now let's switch feet. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is one of these strikes that if you miss, just do it again. Okay? It basically costs you nothing. All right, now we're going to do roundhouse knee. Okay? Put the leg back that you're going to work with first. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just sides. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. And as I said, one of my favorite things to do is roundhouse knees. Anytime I have control of a shoulder and I'm in tight, roundhouse knee fast, okay? Because you can pull them into your knee, which makes it a much stronger technique, okay? Last technique we're working today, XBlock. Now, there are a number of martial arts that do XBlocks up. I never want both my hands together up, okay? Because everything else is open, okay? My entire body is wide open, okay? And the fact that I put both hands in the same place means my shoulder's squared, which means my hip's squared. I'm gonna get rewarded for that, okay? And not in a positive way, okay? The only place we tend to do X-block is blocking a knee, okay? So if I see he's gonna throw that front knee, I'm gonna block that knee, okay? And I'm gonna scoop that knee out of the way. So my front hand on that X-block, so this is my front hand, is gonna scoop that leg away, okay? Scoop that leg away, okay? And then I generally throw a counter knee, because why wouldn't you, okay? Get a good Charlie horse. So that's X, okay? Now, what I don't do is bring my head down with my X, okay? Because if you miss, you just drop their head into a knee, okay? Which you don't want, okay? So very common if somebody's got both shoulders, boom, he's grabbing my shoulders, he's throwing knees, I'm catching X's on these, catching X's, okay? What I'm not doing is trying to forearm block the weak part of my arm against something like a knee or a femur, and you're gonna break my arm doing that, okay? So again, X-block allows me to do that, and when I'm doing it against knees, I'm turning the inside of my arm towards it, so I get a little bit more pad on it, okay? As opposed to double bone, which hurts him, but could break my forearm. So I tend to turn a little bit more pad on it. Okay? So we're just going to work a couple of X-blocks, open stance. Now, this is one of the things you can do with your significant other. You can have them try knee in the groin. I would just suggest that they're going to do it hard the first time. So just be aware that they're going to go, oh, I'm going in. Okay? So make sure you got good clean X and don't counter knee. Okay. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. Now, if you notice, I throw it kind of as 2 spear strikes just because it's done fast. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Countering that knee that's coming in. Okay. So again, guys, probably our last session here at the school for the next 2 weeks, because I believe the state's shutting down. We will be shooting videos from our home again. Mr. Hung won't be there because he doesn't live with us. Bonus for him. And they will be live basically 6 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any comments, again, Virgil, thanks for the comment on Miss Mel. Really appreciated that. But if you have any other comments, I believe Andrew, you sent me a comment early on. Victor, you sent me a comment. So thanks for those things via email. Definitely appreciate it. Everybody stay safe. Thank you, Mr. Hung. Thank you, everybody else. We're done for today. New subscriber.
Ooh.